Hi everyone, it's Lillian here, 10 o'clock Tuesday morning. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Spruce Grove, Alberta, Canada, and I'd like to thank you for visiting my Facebook page, or if you're watching this later on YouTube or Facebook Live replay, thank you for all of that too. I also really appreciate it when you maybe leave a comment or a thumbs up or a thanks or subscribe, depending what platform you're on. All of that encourages me and also encourages Facebook and YouTube to honor me. So thank you for all of that. If you do share this, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and also ask if you please in the comment section let me know that you've shared it, because sometimes it won't let me know who's doing the sharing, and I like to thank you and maybe send you a little something. So if you could let me know when you do that. And Diana, hi, good to see you here, and I know that and then Donna's on as well. So I am going to put you down to the desk because there's lots going on, and I have a card to show you as well. So take care, and let me remember how to do this. There we go. And okay, come on. Whoop, that was a lovely picture of my hand. My stand, I rearranged my stand, and obviously I didn't loosen some of the things just right. There we go. I'll get it all organized. Take a day or two off and you forget how to do everything. Does that ever happen to you? It certainly seems to happen to me. So we will, now I'm getting the computer up and going, and I think we're all set. So today's the day. This is the day that this catalog goes live. I can now show you the inside. I will do a catalog kickoff a little later. I'm still getting that organized, and I'll let you know when that happens. But just gorgeous, gorgeous stuff in here. Everything from, notice the index at the back. They've put the bundles at the back too, so you can have a look-see there. Gorgeous things, all the seasons that come with the fall and up to Christmas. And some of it can apply to Valentine's Day too. So just look at this one. These words here, they're all famous quotes from Christmas movies, and I bet you can identify those. And just so much good stuff. If you've had a chance to look at it, I'd love to know what's well, I was going to say at the top of your wish list, but if you're like me, your wish list is very crowded. But what's something that you really want to get from here? It could be anything, but something that's really caught your eye. And I was speaking earlier about sharing, and last week I had a few days off and I got behind, so I'm going to draw the name to thank for the people sharing. Oh, there we go. And who gets the prize? Diana Z. So Diana, I will be sending you a card in the mail along with some in color enamel dots. So thank you so much for sharing, and we will get on with the next thing on the program here. The other thing to remember is that if you ordered $60 or more during July, you earned bonus coupons, and you can now start cashing them in. Today's the day that you can start cashing them in. So if you are ordering online, there will be a spot to enter them. Whatever you do, don't lose the email that has your bonus coupon codes in it. If you're going to order through me and want to use it, if you can forward me that email, then I can use your bonus coupons towards your order. The other thing to remember is that if you're trying to put in an order that reaches $200 or more so that you get Stampin' Rewards, the bonus coupons will come off before that total. So just know that you don't look at the total before the bonus coupons are applied. Look at the total after the bonus coupons are applied. So I am not showing you a project from using new items today, although there might be something new that I use. You'll just have to wait and see. But I needed a baby card this weekend, and I've had my eye on this card in the catalog for quite some time, so I looked up online as demonstrators and I've looked at the colors used, and I had fun making it. And I always make more than one, right? So here is what the card turned out like. Pretty close, I think, to this one here. And I was really pleased. This border is a smidge bigger, and I'll explain that in a minute. And as I was making it, I thought, oh, I need to, number one, make one in pinks, and number two, show you how I came about doing this. So this is the card I'm going to show you, and at the end I'll share a couple of other baby card ideas as well. So this is where we're heading, only in pinks, and it's cased from page 47 of the annual catalog. So let's move forward on that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a piece of Rococo Rose. This is the pink I've decided to use. I could have gone with anything. And I am going to stick with the yellow stars. So it's going to be pretty much the same. So my Rococo Rose is 5.5 by 8.5, folded in the center at 4 1/4. So we'll do that. And then put that to the side. And then I have a piece of 3.5 by 5, and this is our watercolor paper. So the reason it's 3.5 by 5, I said this border is a smidge bigger, is exactly half of a piece, and I wanted to be able to make two from one piece. So that was my thinking there. So it's our fluid watercolor paper. It is gorgeous watercolor paper, and that is what I'm using for this part here. So, and that's again 3.5 by 5. And then I have scraps of paper. I have scraps of saffron, silver foil, and some whisper white. So that's what we have. So we're going to start with this, and I'm going to bring in my silicone craft mat. I have to laugh. It seems like every tool that I open has a silicone craft mat in it. I don't know how many of these I actually own. I have one in my Stamparatus. When I opened up my embossing paste, I had one in there. I have one on my desk. I have one everywhere. So where do you keep yours, and how many do you have? Are you as bad as me? I'm also going to bring in my water painter. Now this is the aqua painter in the catalog, and I've got mine ordered. It's called Water Painters, and they've redesigned these and have 3 different sizes, but it's the same principle. It's a paintbrush, and then it has a water barrel. So you would undo it, fill it with water like that, and you've got a steady water supply. So what I'm going to do is use that, my watercolor paper, and my Rococo Rose re-inker, and I'm going to put a few drops on my a clear block, and this is going to be my my paint holder. I can't think of the right word. Sometimes I use the lid of my boy, I can't talk today, of my ink pad, but I find this, I can get it quite watery and not worry about it spreading. So first of all, for this technique, I am actually going to squeeze this a little bit, get some water there, and just get my watercolor paper damp. You don't have to, it's just that what I want to do. And if you saw I'm not going to go to all the edges, I'm just going to kind of smear down there. Now I'm going to add some water to here, and I don't want it too dark, So we'll see how it goes. And I'm going to start in the middle because if it's too dark, the star is going to cover it. There we go. Oh, look at it spread. Lovely. Okay, and add a little bit more water by squeezing and get it nice and watery. And I'm just going to, well, I said I was going to stop using the word just, didn't I? I'm not doing so well in that department. I'm going to add a bit more water to here and smear it around. And I think that's going to be good enough. Now, all you're going to do is bring in a paper towel to, whoops, that's not a paper towel, or scrap paper. Clean it till it's running clear and you can switch colors. But that's how I'm going to do it. That will dry fairly quickly. I'm going to set it aside to dry as we do the next step. I'm going to put the lid on here. Put that to the side. And how to clean this off? You just rinse it under the tap or use a wet wipe or paper towel. It just washes right off. So we've got that done, and I actually did one ahead of time so that it would be like this. I think I like my new one better, but it doesn't really matter. Now I'm going to bring in my embossing paste. So how this is going to work, and they used in the catalog the polka dot one, and I realized I don't have that one. So it is on order, it's just not arrived yet, but I went and found an old one that I have, and I want to put it on at a bit of an angle. And I always, this is, again, I've got one of these handy. I'll use a bit of washi tape to hold it down. You could use masking tape, whatever. Just, that'll be good. Now I'm going to bring in a bit of my embossing paste. Notice I even keep my old washi tape in there. Now embossing paste loves to dry out, so I keep it in all kinds. I keep it in a Ziploc bag. And then I also put a saran wrap type of thing here, your cling or whatever. And then, where did my... Oh, now I must have put my palette away. Sometimes I'm just far too efficient. I did. I thought I had everything out. So here's one of my palette knives. Now, if by chance you haven't used this in a long time and it is really dry, add like 1 or 2 drops, just drops of water, and then it's going to take lots of work to work it out. But I'm going to take just some of this out and put it here and close that all back up again because I want to make Rococo Rose embossing paste. So I'm going to put it on one of my many silicone mats, smush it down a little bit, and I'm going to just I'm going to start with just a couple of drops. Yes, I'm so afraid of getting too many. I'm going to start with that because I can always add more if I want. Oh, that's plenty, I think. I'll better do that up. Maybe should have stuck with 1 drop. I haven't made the Rococo Rose one yet. What do you think? Should I add a bit more embossing paste? I think that might be good. So you see, I'm just mixing it up with one of my palette knives. Now I'm going to take, oh, this has got so wonky, that's not even going to hold. Now I'm going to take it on my knife here and just smear it over here. And it's going to, if you haven't used this before, it's going to fill in where the holes are. So, and this, then I like to scrape the excess off. 1, then I can keep using it. Number 2, if this hardens on here, then you're not going to get it off. So I like to try to keep it quite tidy as I go. And you know me, I'm not always the tidiest person in the world, but there we go. So I'm filling in all of the little cutout pieces, and I'm not even going to worry if I get them all. This is sort of one of those abstract-y kind of cards, which is not the kind I usually make, as you know. I tend to go for simple, clean lines, but this card just caught my eye and I wanted to give it a try. So I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to scrape off what I can here. Take a peek. Oh yeah, I like that. So remove my washi tape. Now, normally I would go directly to the sink and wash this off, but a little tough to do when you're here. So I am going to put that aside to dry, take my wet wipe and get off what I can. And then I've got a little dish of water here. I'm going to soak it in until I can get to the sink. But the wet wipe's taking quite a bit of it off. So there we go, put that. And I'm also going to clean this and this. And get rid of all of that, and we'll get on with making the card. So that, ooh, I guess I'm going to get another wet wipe because I have got it all over my hands, and that is not a good move. There, I think I'm clean. Feel like I'm cleaning up the grandkids. All right, do that up, dry my hands. So the next step while that is drying is to cut out these stars and also the word baby. So baby is from the well-written framelits dies. These dies are amazing. They have, I don't know how many different sets of words, but we're going to bring out baby like that. So let me just show you. This is a die for some reason I forget about, and it's got tons and tons of stuff here. 24 different dies. So I'm going to bring that out. Now, before I cut it out, we now have back in the catalog adhesive sheets, and they are perfect for cutting out fine things like this. So I'm going to, got a little piece, they come this big and you can just cut them. I'm going to put it behind the silver, and I don't need tons, and I keep every scrap of these because sometimes you just need a little bit. And I'm going to peel off one side, so it's sticky on both sides, but both have protective covering. So just peel off one side. Okay, I had it started and I pushed it back together. There we go. So that side's the sticky side. And I'm just going to put it down like that. Oh, my goodness, I am having my issues today. Got more glue on me than a little bit. And even though that I'm not going to cut from this side, that's not quite big enough. It'll be big enough to catch the majority of the word baby. And so when I cut it out, I'm going to cut it out like that. So while I've got the adhesive sheets out, I'm going to do the same for, so we're going to use that star, but we're also going to use this fine star here. And it's got tons of little pieces. So again, I'm going to put adhesive on the back, and I'm going to use the adhesive sheet here. And this one's not going to be quite big enough, so I'll cut another one just a little bit bigger. Now the adhesive sheets have little places to do the peeling here. I'll bring in my trimmer. And just, so this is 2 inches wide, so I want it less than 2 inches. So I will go for 1 3/4. And this takes up most of that, so about 4 inches that way. Keep that for future. So on the back of here, now because this is a bigger piece of the adhesive sheet, now you can see how you can just peel it like that and put it down. Like that. Okay, now I'm ready to do some big shotting. That's the other thing that has, pick it up, Lillian, that is available today to demonstrators. So one of the advantages of being a demonstrator is you often get to get things early, and the new die cut and emboss machine is available to demonstrators beginning today. So I'll take that over there. Just a little hint, when you get these little tiny pieces, it's important to take them off, because if they somehow get wound up in here, they can eventually cause issues. So always clean that off, and I'm going to explain what this is in just a minute. So I need this in the So Saffron, and I'll cut baby because this So Saffron star takes up a fair amount. So I'll put those two on, and there we go, and run it through. And I'm finding with these new dies that usually you only have to run it through once, but these are fairly intricate, so just to be safe, I will do it the 2 times. Take it apart, and that's garbage. And I forgot to bring my brush over here, but this will come out pretty easily anyway, and just poke it out. Now, when I go to use it, I'll just peel the backing off, and it'll be sticky. I won't have to worry about glue. So now there's baby, and now the stars. Now, because it was cutting through the adhesive as well, it's a little bit sturdy. Didn't want to cut through the adhesive there, but you can see how it's coming through like that. Now, I said I was going to show what I was do this for. Sometimes, especially when you have a cutting plate like mine that's all grungy, you get tons of pieces stuck in here, and it's hard on the fingernails to scrape them out. This is actually a pastry scraper. You find it in the dollar store or kitchen store. If you use this, it scrapes it off beautifully. So there's another little tip, and now I am moving on to the star, and I know it fits on here. I made it fit before. I'm going to grab another piece of So Saffron. There we go. And there, we'll run this through. Now, I know that lots of you have had time, and you're likely commenting on what you like from the mini catalog. I'm also curious to know, now do you see how, there, this is a good example. See how that's hard to get up? Partly because I need to change my plate. If you go like this, voila, it just comes off like a charm. So, what was I going to say? When you have a demonstrator do a catalog kickoff, a walkthrough, whatever we want to call it, with a new catalog, what is something you like to see? What do you appreciate seeing or knowing or having us share? So that always would be helpful for me too. All right, so let's start with this star right here, and I'm going to bring a piece of scrap paper in and a stamp set that works perfectly. It was designed to go with the words, well-written words is well said. And you've got words for individual words, and then you've got phrases as well. So like for the insides of your cards, tons of stuff here. I just wanted the word baby from here. So I've brought it in with the So Saffron ink, and I'm going to stamp on the So Saffron star, and all I'm going to do is randomly stamp all over that star. So I'll start here, and I'm going to ink it up every time. I don't want second and third impressions, and I often find when I'm random stamping, if I turn the paper I'm stamping on as I go, I don't overthink it as much, and I do get that random look. So there we go. That's how that is right there. And I'm going to close this up. And that down there. So now, let's see. How is this going? It's starting to get pretty dry. I'll give it one more minute, and I'm going to stamp the words, so happy you are here. It's from the same stamp set. I'm going to bring in the Rococo Rose. Whoa, that's my water bottles. That will wake everybody up. Sorry about that. And I'm going to stamp it like that. And I added just a bit of too much pressure. I'm going to do it without pressing quite so hard here, because that was a very juicy ink pad. Paper has two sides. Yeah, it's the bonus. And guess what I'm going to do? Cut them apart. I'm also going to do the word hello. And I'll do this here. Little stamp, little pressure. It's always a good thing to remember. All right, so now I'm going to bring in my scissors, and look at this, I am just going to snip it freehand. I know that I never do that, but it sort of fits with this card, and it seems to be a thing to do these days, and especially I find on little words, it works pretty well. So now we are going to just go like that. There, and we'll just cut it apart here and here. And now we've got the words done. So we've got the words, we've got baby. We just have to get the rest of the stars punched out here. And you say, well, Lillian, I don't see this swirly thing here. No, you don't. We are going to use the stars from it like this. And some of the other ones, we're not using the swirl itself, we're using what's left after the swirl is done. So now let's start to build our card. First off, I'm going to bring this in and my card base, and I'm going to fasten this down. Now, as you can see, it's a little warped. If I wasn't doing a Facebook Live, I could put it between a couple of heavy books and flatten it. But what I am going to do right now is bring in the Seal Plus. So this is the really strong seal. It comes with the black there. It is interchangeable with the other, and I am going to be very generous with it. So you can see that I did some watercoloring on the back of that too. So watercolor paper has two sides as well. So this, I'm actually, as you can see, being very generous. And I am going to line it up right with the edge. Top and bottom borders roughly the same. And Stampin' Seal is not the liquid glue. You don't want to try to move it after it's down. I'm going to turn it over and give it a good press. There we go. Now the next step is to put the large star on. And we're going to use dimensionals for that. And I'm just at the tail end of these dimensionals. I've got more here though. And let's see, we're going to go over the edge a bit. Sure, just like that. Now we're bringing in Baby. Now remember we have the adhesive sheet on the back, so we're just going to find where it started and peel it off. And line it up. I'm going to put Baby straight because not very much else is going to be straight on this card. Can you see how it's starting to come together here? Now we're bringing in the hello and the so happy, and here. I'm bringing in the mini dimensionals. So I'm going to put one in the middle of there and one in the middle of there. But the so happy is just going to go flat. So happy is just going to have a little bit of the liquid glue. A little bit would be good. There we go. So let's look at the card again. And I won't be changing it up just because that's just living far too dangerously. Hello, Baby, so happy, you're here. So they're a little bit different placement, but pretty close. Now all we need to do is add the stars. So I want my paper snips for sure. So now I'm going to snip off this little star. So I need one little star. You know what? I should like, well, never mind. And one of these. That one peeled off, so I'm just going to stick it down right here. It's already sticky. The backing stayed on the back. I'm going to get another one. There we go. Put one here. I want some of these open stars, so I'm just going to snip them apart. They might not be perfect, but they're going to be close. So here's one of them. It's got this. Well, there's one of the divides in the paper. Might as well use that, right? There we go. I don't need any more solid stars, but I could use that on the inside, so I'll put that up there. So I didn't cut that one too smoothly, but I'm going to tuck that underneath. Get it off my finger. So there's one. Oh yeah, I was going to deal with this little guy. Yay for the take your pick tool. I'll put him maybe there. I need one more open one. Here's one here. There we go. I thought I had a different one. This one's easier. I just love how this die gives you so many options, because you can use the whole swirl, and I'm going to show you a card, baby card with the whole swirl, but you can also cut it apart and have lots and lots of stars for your project. There we go. I'll put this one down here. Here's a little one that we can peel the backing off of this. Is that going to, there we go. And now I dropped it. Where did you go, little one? There it is. And you can tell I'm concentrating here, trying to peel backings off. So I'm going to get one more little one. Just cut it from here. And you've got lots of other stars as well that you could use for other projects, for the inside, for whatever. But this will be good for here. Now I could add gems, that kind of thing. But there you go. So we are this close. All that is missing is a bow. Now I don't have any pinkish types of twine, but I do have a couple of ribbons from the new mini catalog. One is this gorgeous, what do they call this one? Snowflake Splendor ribbon, which would look really pretty on there. And then they also have, and it's in the Halloween section, but it definitely does not have to be for Halloween. It's called Metallic Mesh, and I think I'm going to use this because it brings out the silver here. This is so soft. It's so easy to work with. And you're going to say, but that's a huge ribbon for a baby card. But it just kind of scrunches up, and you can make it as little or as big as you want. So I'm just tying a bow. I'm going to fluff it out a little bit. Let's see, do I need to make it smaller? I think I'll make it a smidge smaller. Like that. Bring in my ribbon scissors and snip it off. I can decide after if I need to snip a little more off. But isn't that gorgeous ribbon? Oh, it's just like adding a bit of silver air. Oh yeah, I think that works. I'm going to actually spread this out a little bit more. I can see using this ribbon, oh, can you see it on Christmas cards or princess cards or birthday cards or unicorn cards? Yep, I'm going to put it right there. Love it. All right, so I know this is a little more involved than some of the cards that I've made in the past, but I wanted to show how all of these fun ingredients can come together. So it almost looks like that's a shooting star now. So there it is. There's one in the pinks. There's one in the blues. And for the blue one on the inside, I mounted my inside piece in, and I used the word welcome from the same stamp set and one of the stars. So what's this? Where I get my ideas from, I always put it here, and this was the catalog case. So there are 2 baby cards ready to go. Now let me show you a couple of other ones. So here I use this complete swirl, and then some other stars from the die, and I had used the textured 3D embossing folder here, and Hello Baby was, I think, from So Sentimental, and some of the stars that fell out of here I did here, and then some of the colored rhinestones. I believe is it Holiday Rhinestones? I believe it's called. I should have checked these up. And this is a favorite card that I made last year, but would be so easy to recreate. So you take your heart die and then use an embossing folder, doesn't matter what one, put designer paper in the back, and then put a little animal here. Those little zebras would look cute here, wouldn't they? Or one of the little chicks, or a bunny, or whatever. So this is a very quick and easy baby card. And again, you could switch it, the background paper, into whatever you wanted. Even if you didn't have designer paper, you could just use regular cardstock and do that layer there. So there are a few ideas for baby cards for you. Hope that's inspired you to do some baby card creating, and thank you so much for tuning in. As I said, I will try to have a catalog kickoff, or the mini catalog kickoff, soon. I definitely have some of the products in the house. Some of you have seen those, and I've been playing with them a little bit, so I do have a few samples ready to go. And I think that's it for today. So remember, if you do share this video, please let me know with a comment or a message, and then I'll be able to thank you for it. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.